effective immediately. Plus, on the news, House of Representatives Committee on Review of 1999 Constitution announces it received 31 proposals for creation of new states across 6 geopolitical zones. From the international scene, South Korea's National Intelligence Service reports that North Korean soldiers fighting against Ukraine disappear from the battlefield. Details of these and more coming your way soon. Do stay with us. Many thanks for joining us at this time. Now details of the news. President Bola Tinubu has announced significant leadership changes at several federal universities, including University of Abuja, now known as Yakubu Gowon University. These changes are effective immediately. According to Bayo Nonuga, Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, the President dissolved the entire Governing Council at the Yakubu Gowon University and relieved Professor Aisha Sani Makudi of her duties as Vice-Chancellor. Senator Larry Tejoshu, currently Pro-Chancellor of the University of Agriculture, Makudi, as an appointed Pro-Chancellor of the Yakubu Gowon University. He will be succeeded in Makudi by Senator Joy Emodi, now Pro-Chancellor of Anikoku University of Education. To succeed Makudi, President Tinubu appointed Professor Lar Patricia Manko as acting Vice-Chancellor at the Yakubu Gowon University for a 6-month term. She will not be eligible to apply for the substantive Vice-Chancellor position when it becomes available. In addition, President Tinubu also removed Professor Polycarp Emeka Chibu from his position as acting Vice-Chancellor at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, UNN, before his tenure ends on February 14. Professor Ojiofo T. Ujam has been appointed as his successor for 6 months and will not be eligible to apply for the permanent position. The leadership changes at UNN extend to the role of Pro-Chancellor, with General Ike Nwachukwu reassigned to Pro-Chancellor at the University of Uyo, among other reappointments. Vice President Kashim Shettima has observed that Nigeria is witnessing a surge in reverse medical tourism, with patients from the United States and other countries thronging the nation's hospital to seek affordable and high-quality kidney transplants. The Vice President attributed the choice of Nigeria for treatment to affordability and high-quality expertise within the country's medical community. Speaking on Thursday during a courtesy visit by the Nigerian Association of Nephrology, NAN, at the Presidential Villa ahead of the association's 37th Scientific Conference, Shettima stressed the need for further investments in specialized medical education to sustain this progress. The Vice President praised Dr. Lalekon, Chief Medical Director of Zenith Medical and Kidney Center, for his contributions to kidney care, describing him as a very decent man who is highly altruistic in his efforts to assist humanity. Shettima, however, noted that the financial strain on patients, many of whom sell their homes or rely on government support to afford transplant. Earlier, Dr. Latishe, who also serves as the chairman of the local organizing committee for the 37th Scientific Conference and Annual General Meeting of the Nigeria Association of Nephrology, said the conference with the theme Revolutionizing Kidney Care in Nigeria, Evidence-Based Innovation will take place in Abuja from February 19 to 21, 2025. The Nigerian Senate is set to investigate allegations made by the head of state of Niger Republic, Brigadier General Abdurrahmani Chiani, accusing Nigeria of colluding with France to destabilize Niger through a new militia group identified as Lukurawa. The Senate Committees on National Security and Foreign Affairs have been directed to investigate the matter and report their findings. Correspondent Kolojo reports that the resolution stemmed from a motion moved on the floor of the Upper Legislative Chamber by the Bauchi South Senator Umaru Shehu at Thursday's plenary session. Senator Shehu Buba voiced significant concerns over allegations from Niger Republic head of state Brigadier General Abdurrahmani Chiani, accusing Nigeria of colluding with France to destabilize Niger using a new militia group called the Kurawa.
Brigadier General Chiani also alleged plans to establish a base for Lakurawa in a forest near Gaba, Sokoto State, with operational reach extending to Sokoto, Zamfara, and Kebbi States. Additionally, he claimed that foreign military bases in Nigeria are being used to target Niger's oil pipelines and create security threats.
The Senate decided to halt an open debate on the allegations due to the sensitivity of the matter, but directed its committees on national security and foreign affairs to investigate further and report their findings.
Let us just agree that his committee be made to go and carry out whatever investigation that needs to be carried out, to be discussed further by the committee of the whole.
I agree that on account of diplomatic relations and national security, we should refer the issues to the appropriate committees. But I suggest that it should be a joint committee. The Committee on Foreign Relations is also very important.
The motion is now referred to the Committee on Intelligence and National Security, jointly with the Committee on Foreign Affairs, to report back to this August Senate, to report back within 4 weeks.
Still with the red chambers, the Nigerian Senate has intervened in response to 18 OML 18 located in Bukuma River State. Senator representing Rivers South Banigo Ipalibo, who raised the motion during Wednesday's plenary, also raised alarm over the environmental and health consequences of recurrent oil spills in the region, calling for swift investigation and intervention from relevant government agencies to quickly address the spillage. While presenting her motion, the Rivers lawmaker expressed concern over the delayed response of responsible oil companies, a situation she says has increased the sufferings of affected communities.
Recognizes the severe consequences of this incident, including contamination of rivers, farmlands, and aquatic life of Buguma. The pollutants released pose significant health risks, including respiratory and waterborne diseases, and long-term effects such as cancer and organ damage.
Correspondent Glojo reports that lawmakers who contributed to the motion also recommended the inclusion of additional prayers for a more comprehensive approach to addressing the issue.
The federal government should declare a national emergency program for the rebuilding, rehabilitation, and recalibration of the national onshore oil wells, flow stations, and pipeline infrastructure in Nigeria.
Urge the Ecological Management Committee and relevant agencies to ascertain cleanup costs, charges, and penalties of each and every oil spill or fire hazard and charge operators accordingly.
Deputy President of the Senate, Barao Jivin, who presided over the plenary session, urged relevant agency to take decisive action and curb the menace.
A major factor is the fact that we have an infrastructure that has become decayed. And the second factor is the fact that there are some level of sabotage in that. The Senate has the latitude to deal with the matter. So let me put the question. Those in favor of this prayer, please say aye. Those against say nay. Oh, the eyes have it.
Meanwhile, a bill seeking to protect 7 judicial officers from prosecution by the Code of Conduct Tribunal has killed second reading in the House of Representatives. This bill, sponsored by federal lawmaker Bob Solomon, generated a debate before being referred to the House Committee on Anti-Corruption. The bill will checkmate the Code of Conduct Tribunal or provide immunity for more public office holders. The House of Representatives Committee on the Review of the 1999 Constitution announced on Thursday that it has received 31 proposals for creation of new states across 6 geopolitical zones. A letter from the committee on the request was read by the Deputy Speaker, Benjamin Kalu, during the plenary. He outlined the conditions that must be met before any state creation request can be approved. According to the letter, the proposal includes 5 from the North Central, 4 from Northeast, 5 from Northwest, 5 from Southeast, 4 from the South-South, and 7 from the Southwest. Among the states being considered are Okokura and Confluence from Kogi State, Benue Ala and Apa from Benue, FCT State, Amana from Adamawa, Katagum, Bauchi, Savannah from Borno, and Muri Taraba. The states also include New Kaduna State and Gujarat State from Kaduna State, Tigan Ari from Kano, and Kanji from Kebbi State, Ititi and Urashi from the 6th state in the southeast, Adada from Enugu, Olu and Aba from the southeast. They also include Ogoja from Cross River, Wari from Delta, Ori and Obolo from Rivers, Turumbe from Ondo, Ibadan from Oyo, Lagun from Lagos, and Ogun Ijebu from Ogun, Okiogun Ijesha from Oyo, Ogun, Osun states.
The committee has reviewed the proposals for the creation of new states in accordance with Section 8, Subsection 1 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended. This section outlines specific requirements that must be fulfilled to initiate the process of state creation, which include the following. New state and boundaries. 1. An act of the National Assembly for the purpose of creating a new state shall only be passed if a request supported by at least 2/3 majority of members representing the area demanding the creation of the new state in each of the following, namely the Senate and the House of Representatives, the House of Assembly in respect of the area, and the local government council in respect of the area.
You're still on to the news on Galaxy TV. Coming up next. IBDC headquarters in Ibadan affiliates witnessed disruption of business activities due to sack of 17 members of staff and agitation by workers for better working conditions. Details of that and more coming after the break. Do stay with us. We are glad to have you back. Now, for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with folks on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Galaxy TV News. You can follow and interact with folks on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Galaxy TV. Remember to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Galaxy TV. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live updates and comments, as you can easily scan our IG QR code. The House of Representatives has called on the federal government to immediately halt all divestment processes by Shell, TotalEnergies, and other international oil companies (IOCs) until the environmental and social liabilities to host communities are fully addressed. It also mandated that no divestment should proceed without transparent consultation with Niger Delta communities and state governments. Correspondent in Abuja, Abuja, completes the story.
Adopting a motion of urgent public importance by the Minority Leader, Honorable Kingsley Chinda, the House instructed the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission to enforce compliance with Petroleum Industry Act. Additionally, the House called for the creation of an Environmental Restoration Fund financed by the IOCs to address the estimated $100 billion in damages identified by the UNEP and the Bayelsa State Commission.
The Nigerian Upstream Regulatory Commission has rejected Shell's divestment application, citing failure to address environmental liabilities and concerns about the capacity of the Renaissance Consortium to manage the assets effectively. The House is also aware that past divestment by IOCs, such as Shell's sale of assets to Nembe to Aleto, ExxonMobil's transfer and ENI Ajib's sale to Oando have left communities with unresolved pollution, worsened environmental degradation, and increased social unrest.
The House also urged the Attorney General of the Federation to propose amendments to existing laws to impose stricter penalties, including life imprisonment for those involved in production and importation of fake drugs, as well as hefty fines for businesses dealing in counterfeit goods. Adopting a motion moved by Honorable Mukhtar Shagaya on the urgent need to address the proliferation of fake and substandard goods, drugs and food in Nigeria, the House urged the federal government to strengthen regulatory agencies such as NAFDAC and the Standard Organization of Nigeria, SON, and the Nigerian Customs Service for effective performance. It emphasized the need for increased funding, modern equipment, and advanced technology to enhance surveillance, defect detection, and enforcement. The House also called for the establishment of a special task force comprising security agencies, regulatory bodies, and the judiciary to fast-track investigation and prosecution of individuals and businesses engaging in counterfeiting.
The House is concerned that Nigeria suffers economic losses of approximately 15 trillion naira annually due to counterfeit and substandard goods, as reported by the Standards Organization of Nigeria. The unchecked proliferation of fake products not only jeopardizes consumer safety, but also discourages genuine investment in the food and pharmaceuticals industries.
Workers at the Institute of Agricultural Research and Training, Ibadan, have protested the non-payment of their December and January salaries. The aggrieved workers took their grievances to the doorstep of the school's management, lamenting their socio-economic condition, which they described as pitiable. They wanted the school's management and indeed all concerned stakeholders to do the needful before the situation goes out of hand.
To start by saying that IRT is one of the federal government's blessings. That if federal government wants to count, should count twice. We have personnel that are dedicated, and it is unspeakable that today we are expressing our hurt for the failure to have been paid our December salaries for whatever reason possible.
We suffered. We went through a black Christmas, black New Year. No money to buy food in the house, no money to buy drugs for our elderly people, and rather we ourselves, we travel from home to the work. And this suffering is too much, so we have to go out and tell the management to inform the federal government that we are suffering, that this suffering is enough. They told us that because Nigeria increased the salary, the wages of the Nigeria workers, that is the reason why we now have low money in our purse in December, and that is the reason why they could not be able to pay our salary. But from our findings, are we the only institute that were paid minimum wage to in last year? We are not the only institute.
I do understand and share the pains and frustration of the staff. However, they are correct that they have not been paid for December and for January. But we've done all we could, and the ministry, they're also working on it. It was an omission for the December salary. The January were still open, and we're sure that we're going to receive it. It's an omission, and the ministry is working on it.
Not other stories. There was outrage in Ogun State on Thursday as members of the Nigerian Automobile Technicians Association at Jebu Mechanic Village took to the streets to protest the killing of 3 of their colleagues by a truck driver. The victims were reportedly crushed to death on Wednesday evening around Kenta Abeokuta, while riding home on the motorcycle after closing from work. Angered by the incident, the aggrieved technicians blocked the newly constructed Ajabo OGTV expressway, vowing to prevent truck drivers from using the road until concrete measures are put in place to end what they described as a reckless and avoidable loss of lives. The protesters lamented that no fewer than 5 people have been killed on the same road between December 2024 and the first week of February 2025, allegedly done due to the recklessness of truck drivers. The protesters recall that on December 27, one of these truck drivers killed a staff member of the Federal Medical Center, and in January another person was killed. They said they are tired of these senseless killings because the people these truck drivers are killing are human beings and breadwinners in their homes, and these must not continue. Electricity workers, Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company, IBDC headquarters in Ibadan affiliates, witnessed disruption of business activities due to SACO 17 members of staff and agitation for other working conditions. Shegun Falomo completes the story.
Workers of Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company, IBEDC, under their umbrella body, National Union of Electricity Employees, have staged a peaceful protest this morning at the company's headquarters over the sack of 17 workers, among other demands. They displayed placards with various inscriptions like "No more half salary," "Pay union and deductions now," "We say no to casualization," just to mention a few. Leaders of the union, however, met with the management of IBEDC, but the meeting was a deadlock, while the workers vowed to continue with the protest until the sack workers are recalled.
We are not saying we should not discipline our staff who are hearing or who are not productive. We are not saying we should not discipline them. But we must sit together. Let us discuss. This discipline we are going to give to them, is it just or not? Because what is happening here now is happening in Ilorin, it's happening in Ushogbo, it's happening in Jeba, it's happening in Ilesha, all that BDC franchise.
When they call them back, bring their papers to the table, let's see who performed and who did not perform. Our union will not support indiscipline, no. But just to let them go like that, we won't take it. Right, and they left. The next thing we saw that security people came here to threaten us, that the IBDC has instructed them that if we come here tomorrow, they will gun all of us down. So we want to come tomorrow and let them kill all of us.
Working for this company for the past 8 years, and I can't imagine a company as great as IBDC should be paying his worker, a staff, 50,000 naira per month with the situation for the past 8 years. With the situation, with the inflation rate of this country, I don't want us to cope.
Meanwhile, head of branding and corporate communications, Angela Olanrewaju, while reacting to the claims made by the workers, said the company sacked the 17 workers due to underperformances after being on probation. She maintained that IBDC do not have casual staff, but workers who were outsourced into the system. Olanrewaju hinted that the management has engaged the union on dialogue, and at the end of the day, a balance will be made.
It's a process. Like I told you, we didn't wake up. These are people that have been on the same performance consistently over time. The final thing we do is we write to them, we do an appraisal, and we say, look, this is your performance. We're giving you another 3 months to improve. After that 3 months, if you don't improve, you have to leave. And everybody in the business is aware of this process. As we speak, management has engaged the union where there's a consistent engagement that's going on. I'm sure we'll find a balance. I know the union officials. I know that they are very reasonable men and women, and they understand the intricacies and the dynamics of this business. As we know, a lot of things are happening in the electricity sector.
From Ibadan.
Farmers from Delta community of Igbo Kokori in Ugeri, North Local Government area of Delta State, have called on relevant agencies to come to their aid over the incessant cases of farmland invasion by cattle belonging to suspected Fulani herdsmen in their farmland. Correspondent Dele Fasson completes the story.
Speaking on the incident, some of the victims of farmland invasion narrated their ordeal as they call on the elders to vacate their community.
The problem is that, not that we hate Fulani people or the herdsmen, but their cow is destroying all our crops. So because of this, we said we don't need them. If not for those that sell the padlock, those that, the traders that hawk with bicycle, they come to the town. We are friends with them. Even those, the ones that escort cow, most of them, we are friends with them. But at the time we see that this cow is destroying our crops, we tell them we don't need the cows. And
when I get to my farm, I meet inside the farm, the corns that I farm, everything they are finishing. So I get an issue with them. I got two of them. One struggle run away. Before I can call people in community, they have run. So I left them till where we decide, say, okay, since where the Fulani people, they have started to destroy our crops, so they should come and leave our.
One day I go far, only me. Before I reach the Hausa people from my farm, I could tell her, say, waiting na the farm, I go see am. Now they destroy my cassava, vegetable, all of the true. One call carry dagger, say go kill me just now. Small time me with I call the drag, my picky call see my picky call push her go, say go kill her with the dagger. Me, I don't know where I wrong, come off for the farm.
One of the arrested herdsmen, who was later released, admitted the farmland invasion but denied his involvement.
This yesterday, then people come carry peppers and they carry reach and secondly the fear. It don't road live car. I mean the army for see people do. They don't come. And you don't come.
Three like this, three like this. At 33, wait, tell me so. No past 33. Oh, if I see you, let me say I go ask you how many for your cow. You go ask me how many.
The community youths and elders had days ago protested to the police area command in Ughelli over the invasion of their farmland by herdsmen. From Delta State, Daily Fasson reporting for Galaxy TV News.
The Ogo 2 Area Command of the Nigeria Customs Service NCI said it has generated over 4 billion naira as revenue for the month of January 2025. The Customs Area Controller Olushola Lade disclosed this on Thursday during a press conference held in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. Alade added that the command also discovered 4 unauthorized factories operating without proper license and permits in order access of the state. The area controller maintained that the attainment is an evidence of the command's commitment to the growth of the national economy.
It may interest you to know that the command generated the sum of 4,335,323,053 kobo as revenue for the month of January 2025. This can be compared to 2,135,276,676 naira 86 kobo generated in the corresponding period of last year, 2024.
You're still on to the news on Galaxy TV. Let's go on a break. When we come back, the news continues. To stay with us. We are glad to have you back. Now moving on with the rest of the stories. Bandits have attacked Sigar village in Bakori local government area of Katsina State, where they kidnapped the former Director General of the National Youth Service Corps, retired Brigadier General, and 8 others. An eyewitness narrated how the bandits in their dozens stormed the community on motorcycles at 12 midnight and immediately started searching for their targets. Narrating the ordeal, eyewitness who pleaded anonymity says the streets were empty because it was around 12 midnight and they disembarked from the bikes. They started flashing torchlights to locate the houses of their targets in the town. He said about a dozen of them stormed Brigadier Sigar's house. The other kidnapped people were also targeted because the kidnappers went straight to their houses. The Nigerian police force has arrested a total of 84 suspects in January 2025, including 32 apprehended through the NPF National Cybercrime Center and 52 by the Police Special Fraud Unit in Lagos. While addressing journalists in Abuja, Force Public Relations Officer ACP Olumuyiwa Adejobi attributed these successes to the Inspector General of Police Action Plan aimed at restoring Nigeria's global reputation and removing the country from the FATF grey list. Correspondent Kole Ojo reports that among those arrested were 9 suspects involved in cyber-related crimes, just as 2-man syndicate Said Usman and Yusuf Umar were nabbed for creating and distributing compromised financial accounts using fraudulent transactions totaling over 400 million naira, recruited via Telegram by an unidentified foreign cyber criminal. Said, who created money point financial profiles using pre-registered SIM cards and email addresses, while Yusuf fraudulently obtained BVNs and personal details from individuals in his community to upgrade the account to Tier 5 verification.
Recently, we were able to roll out the achievement of Nigeria Police Force through the National Cybercrime Center and our anti-fraud units of Nigeria Police Force, including the anti-money laundering section, with the aim of assisting the government of Nigeria in taking this country out of the grey lists. By doing so, we have strong conviction that our efforts so far will definitely redeem the image of this country, our home their nation called Nigeria.
A crime of creating profile. Like I say, I met some people online and asked me that I should help him create 3 profiles for Yusuf Umar, who will continue the verification of the account. But before the creation of the profiles, he first asked me to hand over my money fund account to him, and I did.
There is this WhatsApp group that we buy Facebook from. We buy Facebook and TikTok, then we sell to our customers. The Facebook is that when we buy for the platform, most of them, they come with followers, they come with 0 followers. Then we used to be the one to boost the account for the person to buy. So that is the way we used to do it. When we buy, we sell to our customers.
Abduction is related to kidnapping.
Related to kidnapping?
Yeah.
Okay. And but he never adopted you?
No, sir.
Okay. You claim again that he assaulted you?
Yes, sir.
He did?
No, sir.
No. You claim that he robbed you of $300?
He wasn't present, sir.
He was not present there when that incident happened. So why did you decide to drag him and use his name?
Because as his boys, because he was my ex-boss, so his boys were the same. So that's why I thought might have come from.
ACP Adejobi reaffirmed the police force's commitment to tackling cybercrime and bringing perpetrators to justice. He urged the public to be cautious when engaging in online transactions and to verify the legitimacy of financial dealings to avoid falling victims to cyber criminals.
For us to know that Nigeria Police Force cautions against the inappropriate use of social media for the perpetration of crimes such as fraud, defamation, and cyber stalking. The force remains committed to identifying are curtailing cyber criminals and syndicates, assuring that those involved in cyber-related crimes face the full weight of the law. Members of the public are advised to exercise extreme caution when engaging in online transactions and ensure adequate verification of the legitimacy of operators before conducting large financial dealings.
The Anambra State Police Command says it has recovered the decomposing body of the adopted Anambra State House of Assembly member who was kidnapped during last Christmas on his way to his village. The lawmaker, Honorable Justice Azuka, who represents the people of Onitsha North Constituency 1 in the Anambra State House of Assembly, was abducted on Tuesday, December 24, 2024. The abducted lawmaker, who is a chieftain of Labour Party, had regained his mandate after a court ruling ousted the previous winner and candidate of the People's Democratic Party, who was initially declared winner. The Anambra Police spokesperson Tochukwu Nkenga, who in a statement on Thursday said operatives of the State Joint Security Team and vigilante groups found the lifeless body of the lawmaker during a rescue mission at the Second Niger Bridge. It will be recalled that the abandoned SUV of the lawmaker was found on the 26th December last year, which is the day after Christmas, by the police around the Onitsha-Oba Road. The Anambra Police Command also promised to furnish members of the public with more information as soon as investigation is concluded. The new Edo State Police Commissioner Betty Otime has assured the people of the state of reducing crime to the barest minimum. The police commissioner gave the assurance during a visit to the state governor, Monday Okpebolo, at the government house in Benin. She promised to tackle crime in the state positively with the support she already asked from the governor. Responding, Edo State Governor Monday Okpebolo stressing the capabilities of the new police boss, having worked in the state before our recent appointment.
To work and take the state to a level of crime-free. I also want to say that the expertise and experience I have working in the state will be of immense help in detecting crime. I want to say that most of the crime that are prevalent here will go all out to see how we'll solve it. And I appreciate the governor's stance on your responsiveness to security challenges.
And I know she can perform. All her posting, I was following her. Even when she didn't know I was following her. The last time I knew and I met her here in Benin, that was when she was in Japan. And since that time, I said, thank God that she has come back home. Now she's properly home. So the business is for us to fight crime. And there's no other person that will fight crime in our home, not ourselves.
Now we move to the international desk for more news. This is news from the international scene. North Korean soldiers fighting against Ukraine have disappeared from the battlefield, South Korea's National Intelligence Service reported this week. Since mid-January, there have been no signs showing North Korean troops deployed to the Russian Kursk region engaging in battle, the NIS said on Tuesday. An estimated 11,000 North Koreans were deployed to Kursk last December to help Russia fight a Ukrainian counter-invasion launched last August. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that as many as 4,000 North Korean soldiers have been wounded or killed, roughly a third of the corps. The NIS puts the figure at 3,000. Ukrainian commanders in the field have reported that Russian forces used North Koreans to spearhead attacks, and they were ordered to end their own lives rather than be captured or were shot by their own side. Russian troops are also suffering high losses. Ukraine's Ministry of Defense estimated Russian casualties at 48,240 last month, the second highest monthly casualty rate in almost 3 years of war, only slightly behind December's. About a third of those losses were incurred around Provrovsk, the eastern Ukrainian town in Donetsk that Russia has launched an intensive battle to capture. Sudan's army is pushing the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces (RSF) to retreat from Khartoum, sparking hope among many in the capital for renewed stability. However, local relief workers said they fear they will be targeted in a wave of reprisals. Local volunteers are members of emergency response rooms, ERRs, grassroots networks that have led the humanitarian response since Sudan erupted into war in April 2023. ERRs provides multiple services such as supporting soup kitchen, safe spaces for women and children, and basic healthcare for the sick and wounded. Most rely on donations from the Sudanese diaspora and funding from organizations, NGOs, and United Nations agencies. Despite their vital humanitarian role, ERR workers face sex arrest, kidnappings, and extrajudicial killings from both sides in the conflict. Many have been targeted for their pro-democracy stances, which strengthened the joint rule of the then-allied RSF and army after a popular uprising brought down their former boss, President Omar al-Bashir, in April 2019. 4 years later, the RSF and army turned their guns against each other after they cooperated to overthrow a civilian administration and sabotage popular aspiration for democracy. The war between the two sides have killed tens of thousands of people and generated the largest humanitarian crisis in the world by most measures. Malaysia said it strongly opposes the forcible resettlement of Palestinians in Gaza after United States President Donald Trump said Washington would take over the enclave under an extraordinary redevelopment plan. The forced displacement of Palestinians would constitute ethnic cleansing and a violation of international law and multiple UN resolutions. Malaysia's Ministry of Foreign Affairs said on Thursday, any attempt, whether direct or indirect, to unilaterally and forcefully impose solutions that disregard the Palestinian people's right to self-determination and infringe on their freedom is unacceptable, unjustifiable, and will only further deepen one of the longest conflicts in the region, the ministry said in a statement. Malaysia continues to stand in solidarity with the people of Palestine. The only viable path to lasting peace and stability in the Middle East is through the establishment of independent and sovereign state of Palestine based on the pre-1967 borders with East Jerusalem as its capital. The ministry added that the international community should unite in a credible and permanent solution that is acceptable to the Palestinian and reiterated the support for diplomatic effort to establish an independent Palestinian state. Still on the international scene, thousands of protesters in Bangladesh have demolished and set fire to the home of the country's founding leader as his daughter ousted former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina delivered a fiery social media speech calling on the supporters to stand against the interim government. The attack on Wednesday night was prompted by a speech Hasina planned to give to supporters from exile in neighboring India, where she fled last August after a deadly student-led uprising against her 15-year rule. Critics have accused her of suppressing dissent. The house in the capital, Dhaka, has been home to Hasina's late father, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, who led the country's independence from Pakistan in 1971. He was assassinated there in 1975. Hasina later turned the home into a museum. According to news report, several thousand protesters, some armed with sticks, hammers and other tools, gathered around the historic house and independent monument, while others brought a crane and excavator to demolish the building on Wednesday night. Protesters, many aligned with the Student Against Discrimination group, had expressed their fury over Hasina's speech, which they viewed as a challenge to the newly formed interim government. United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio has said he will skip group of 20 G20 talks in South Africa amid an escalating spat between Washington and Pretoria over a controversial land expropriation law. Rubio's announcement on Wednesday came days after U.S. President Donald Trump threatened to cut aid to South Africa over its passage of legislation allowing the siege of land without compensation in certain circumstances. South Africa, which holds the G20 presidency until November 2025, is set to host a meeting of foreign ministers from February 20 to 21 in Johannesburg. South Africa is doing very bad things, expropriating private property. using G20 to promote solidarity, equality and sustainability. In other words, the eye on climate change, Rubio said in the post. On Monday, Trump accused the administration of South African President Cyril Ramaphosa of confiscating land and mistreating certain classes of people, promoting a rebuttal from Pretoria. Under the law signed by Ramaphosa last month, the government may seize land without compensation where it is just and equitable and in the public interest, such as in cases where a property is unused and which has been unable to reach an agreement with the owner. Lastly, on the international scene, a strong earthquake has been recorded between the Greek island of Amugos and Santorini after days of consecutive tremors. More than 11,000 people have already left Santorini, with around 7,000 departing by ferry and 4,000 people by air. A magnitude 5.2 earthquake struck at 9:09 p.m. local time on Wednesday, making it the strongest in recent days. It is estimated to have occurred at a depth of 5 kilometers. That was followed by a 4.7 magnitude quake recorded southwest of Amugos at 7:50 a.m. local time on Thursday. After 57 tremors were recorded between midnight and 6:30, so far, major damage has not been reported to the island, but authorities are taking precautionary measures and bracing in case a larger quake hits. Vasilis Christatis, director of the Geodynamic Institute, told Newsweek that seismicity continues at the same pace as in previous days, intense. Santorini welcomes millions of tourists annually, but it is currently low season. Mainly local residents and workers make up the majority of evacuees. Poor weather means the ferry from Santorini to Piraeus port near Athens will not operate. The adverse conditions are expected to continue over the coming days. Many travellers remain at Santorini's port to board the emergency ferry route that have been set up as many families want to leave the island. And that's it from the international scene. Coming your way next, entertainment news.
Welcome to Entertainment News on Galaxy TV. My name is Gratitude in Mokwede. Here are the stories for today.
Controversial Nigerian singer Abi Okikiola, better known as Portable, has cried out as the government seals his uncompleted building and hotel over illegal development without an approval permit. Taking to his Instagram, he said he believes in God and is assured that nobody can fail him. Portable revealed that the government sealed his newly uncompleted building and hotel and packed over 20 artists and customers as well as cars, bikes and phones. He noted how the people who came to him for help also got arrested. He called on the government to look into this as he noted how he is using the building to book events and shows and not just selling drinks. He further noted how he is promoting people and helping them. Portable pointed out the irony at which he has been helping the government outlight on the streets and repair roads, yet they are shutting down his property. Nigerian Afrobeat singer Tiwa Savage is reminiscing on a short trip to Saudi Arabia. The award-winning singer, via Instagram page, shared a clip recalling her stay in Saudi Arabia as she sent a message to her fans. She expressed her love for her old fans and welcomed the new ones.
Welcome to Wellington.
Tiwa stated that they came at the right time because this one is personal. The mother of one went on to note how she has been in the industry for over a decade, yet every stage, every audience, and every performance is still a moment. The Maven record captain and the superstar musician were seen hugging in a now trending video. Nigerian singer Ayodeji Balogun, better known as Wizkid, and record label executive Michael Collins Ajere, better known as Don Jazzy, has confirmed that they have fully buried the hatchet. This has been confirmed from a recent video which shows both of them together. They were warm to each other and hugged. Their disposition towards each other from the video signals that there is no more bad blood between them.
Alright, that's all we have on entertainment news. Thank you so much for watching and keep watching entertainment news on Galaxy TV. Enjoy the rest of the day. My name is Gratitude Imokwede. Bye.
And that is all we have for you. We thank you so much for watching. My name is Iribabi Salako. Goodbye.